What is up, geeks and geeks? It's another episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. My name is Steady, and with me on this episode is the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Good to be back here on the show, and we have a new guest here. Good to be talking with one BMAC and Jericho. I'm just disappointed that Teddy didn't wear the onesie for us, man.
I told you that's the private after show you asked for. You gave me like $500.
You're gonna play that bomb
We'll
chicka
talk
wow
about
music.
that later. I don't want you to tell everybody how much you like me in that outfit. This after the show.
Just long as you are on the bearskin rug, maybe on a sofa,
We also got
fireplace, one on the back.
Jericho.
What's up, y'all?
And making his debut on the show, good buddy of mine. We've been to different cons together. We've been to different events together, and he's here to help us out with Young Justice discussion as well as Hawkeye. It's Brett. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? Good to be on the podcast, man.
Absolutely. And for anybody else who wants to get in on Joe's private show after the show, let me know. Go ahead and DM me.
Teddy does anything for charity, man.
Let's see. We got a great show for you guys.
He takes Bitcoin.
Well, that's for the after party. If you want to pay with cryptocurrency, that do something strange for a little bit of change.
We got a great show for you guys. That's free, so we're not going to get all crazy. We're going to be
We're not
talking
going to invite you to
about
Teddy's OnlyFans.
episode 5 of Hawkeye. We're also going to give you a link to Joe's OnlyFans in case you want to get in on that action.
Like that is as exciting as Ted's, man. I'm telling you.
We're talking about Young Justice Phantoms, and right now it's all about episode 10. Episode 10, which is getting crazy. Arc 3, which focuses all about Zatanna and her students and Clarion and the child, which happens to be a Lord of Chaos. It's getting insane, and episode 10 is no different. So this is the part where I go. This is the part where I go through a quick summary about the episode, and then we'll discuss it. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right. Young Justice Phantoms, episode 10. We open with Vandal Savage in the past, moving forward through history, and we find out he has an immortal grandson named Arian. This is narrated by the Phantom Stranger, by the way. Arian became an agent of order on Earth and received a crown from the Lords. He also became the father of Atlantis and helped it to expand vastly. Vandal wished to sink Atlantis in order for his descendants to only remain, but his grandson refused. Be too many people being, killed. And then Savage actually waited for Clarion to return from his 1,000-year pact. I'll go through the rest of this real quick. Zatanna and her students recover from the last episode where Clarion wrecked shop, nearly killing every single one of them, and they are met by the Phantom Stranger, who sends Zatanna to see the child and Clarion battle, while he takes the students to see Jason Blood, aka Etrigan. Child meets up with Clarion and says she's here to replace him, and because he has become a minion of Vandal Savage. They battle against one another, but quickly Clarion realizes that he's outmatched as he's going up against all the Lords of Chaos. And then we get a sort of a quick side story of McGann and John Jones and her cousin traveling back to Earth 2 months after the death of Connor. That's sort of the filler subplot part of this. And then at the very end, we get more sort of a history with Vandal Savage learning that his son is actually. I'm a little bit hazy on this part because I kind of was busy doing this. His son is Dr. Fate, or his grandson is Dr. Fate at this point.
Son, I think.
So his son is Naboo?
Son, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. My daughter was like throwing Play-Doh toys at me, and I couldn't pay attention. But
Enjoy those days, Teddy. She's getting big too, man.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Jericho, we'll start with you, man. Episode 10. What did you think about the episode as a whole, and sort of what really stuck out to you?
Yeah, overall, it was a great episode. I mean, a lot of great stuff going on. A lot more information of Savage's background, and now we learn how Atlantis came about. Um,
Dude,
I wonder if this is canon or if this is just something for the show, because I don't think we've ever really had a history as far as how Atlantis was created. And then now even finding out about Savage's son being Naboo. I mean, again, like, is this all part of just the show, or has this been in the comics too? But really good information. Just very cool to see Clarion getting his butt kicked for once, and realizing that he's taking on too much. Taking on more than he can chew. Um, I mean, it's just so much going on, and it's just a lot of cool stuff. And I just love how there's just so many callbacks and just everything going on. Like, it's a lot, but it's a really good episode. Really, really good episode.
absolutely fantastic. Joe, you're sort of new to the Young Justice series, but did you follow through with episode 10? What were your thoughts, man?
I did not follow through, but I remember I told you about my theory about why it was called Phantoms, the episode previous to this one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely did. Brett, new to the show, man, but episode 10, we saw a lot of action, a lot of magic fighting, and I love that they keep giving us more and more history that we're not privy to, like Jericho kind of mentioned, giving origins to city of Atlantis, how it sank. Now we know that Clarion is sort of behind all this stuff in sort of a backwards with Vandal Savage. Your thoughts about episode 10 in general, and anything that really stuck out to you, man?
It was definitely the Vandal Savage show, and I mean, it was more about him, I think, than anything else. One of the things I did notice is the Lords of Chaos are kind of shown as children, whereas the Lords of Order are adults. I don't know if
Ooh,
y'all noticed that or not, but
yeah.
kids are chaotic. So, um, yeah, the thing about Atlantis is cool. I'm kind of waiting for his grandson to come back because he did say he was immortal, like him, like Vandal. So at some point, he's going to end up coming back
Hmm.
somehow.
That would be a great twist, because you're right. We kind of see a flash of him. It looks like he actually gets killed in the fall of Atlantis, right?
Yeah, but
That was really a quick
but
shot,
Vandal
but
does say that he is immortal earlier on
absolutely.
when he's talking about him, or the Phantom Stranger, I think, does. Um, but yeah, this is a really cool episode. There was so much in it. Cool to see Etrigan. Kind of wondering
Yes,
if Constantine is going to show up at some point. That would kind of be cool too. But
Oh yeah.
that would
um,
be dope. I wouldn't mind that.
yeah, and then the little blip there at the end, the credits scene where they're on War World.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. So now Vandal Savage looks like he's in control of War World, possibly.
Yes, definitely. And Project Lifeboat, he called it, which,
Yeah,
pretty much on the nose. And it is troublesome because he's only saving his friends, which means
yeah,
nobody else nobody else has a shot to survive whatever math he's about to bring upon the planet. So yeah, um, what the heck is gonna happen next? It's about time, though. It is about time that we see this Young Justice Squad, this team for 4 seasons now, um, pretty much get dealt with whatever game Vandal Savage is playing, and haven't had the opportunity to go head to head with him. So it would be a great time to kind of battle it out, fight one at least. Let's hope everybody walks away from the first fight, but we want to see that fight go down. And I'm not gonna claim that the team is gonna have a good chance at kind of defeating him or taking him and his minions down, but I still want to see it. I still want to see what happens. They have a lot. They've lost a lot.
Hmm.
They've lost a lot to this guy. So pretty much, it's about time. It's a great time. I hope
Yeah.
it happens. I hope it's just not a tease that we get and we don't see it for another season. I hope
Right.
that we actually see things go down. That would be awesome.
And the thing is, all this is happening right around the time that the team is kind of falling apart. It's the
Hmm.
team is hurting right now. You know, Beast Boy's kind of down for the count. Uh, Same with
Again,
McGann. Um, so I think it's going to be wild to see what happens. See
Oh
how
yeah.
they deal with it.
yeah, you're right about that. Even Clark is a little bit,
Yeah.
not a shell of himself, but he's still reeling a little
Just
bit from the
dealing. Yeah.
death of Connor. I'm
Yeah.
using air
Right.
quotes, but I still feel it. Yeah, this was a really cool episode. I like anything with Clarion in it because he's just so damn funny to watch, and he's so damn cartoonish. I just love whatever he says. He fights with the cat from time to time.
Yeah.
It's just entertaining as hell. It's funny that he complains that child is not playing fair. So then they go to the whole like, oh, all right, we only use our own powers now. But yeah, finally figuring out that child is here because she's replacing Clarion. It's like, dude, that's that's pretty major. And we talked about it kind of in the last episode. If Clarion's here, there has to be a Lord of Order here, which I would assume is Naboo, Doctor Fate. And then if Child is also here, then don't you need an additional Lord of Order to
Hmm.
be down on the planet, or else like things go chaotic? Or how long does it take before things go chaotic? I don't know if that's something we're supposed to be asking, or if
I
if
think
they're not
so.
doing much on that.
I think it is. Yeah, like we talked about last episode. It is. We don't know the time frame as far as how long before we need to have a Lord of Order there, or maybe they're already there and they just haven't shown themselves yet. Because who knows when Naboo, if Naboo is the Lord of Order, who knows how long he had been there before Clarion was there. Um, but I think that's on Clarion's part, it's you messed up if you've been there for over 1,000 years and now the Lords of Chaos are just like, we've had enough. Like, we need to replace you. Like you're done. And not just you're done, but like they need to take him out. They need to get him out of there. Like really, just finish him before they can take over. So he's gonna do everything that he can in his power to stop them. Somehow he's gonna maybe make a deal with the Lords of Order or something to somehow like be able to stop them.
I feel like we're in for a twist regarding Savage and Clarion because Savage has um, a lot to be vengeful for.
Hmm.
The loss of his village, the over destruction of Atlantis. Even though he's somewhat got what he wanted, he didn't want it to get done in the manner that Clarion
Right.
did it. And so and also Dr. Fate being Vandal's son is interesting. I kind of feel like it kind of seems to me like Savage is waiting. He's waiting
Yeah.
in the wings. He's waiting for the right moment, the right time to, deal his hand, play the hand that he's dealt, show all of his cards, and take his revenge on Clarion. But he knows who Clarion is. He knows what he's capable of, and so he has to wait for the right moment. He can't
Yeah.
just, um, do whatever he wants whenever he wants. He has to wait for the exact time when he has an advantage in order to do so. But I think that will happen. I just don't know when, but I feel like that's a
Yeah.
twist coming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I could see that happening. And after, like we said, it was over 1,000 years of having to deal with him and partnering with him. Like I think he's just really trying to feel him out and like you said, learn everything he can about him. I'm sure there's a lot that we don't know about Clarion, or even he doesn't know about him. So yeah, he's just waiting to make sure his plan is going to go flawlessly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Brett, you had a theory earlier that you wanted to talk about. What is? Oh, wait. That's a different show, actually.
Yeah, different show.
Uh,
I think it
let's
is
see.
interesting that Naboo is his son, though. That's pretty wild revelation in the show.
It makes total.
Yeah,
Like I had to rewind that part to make sure I heard that correctly because I mean, again, I've never heard, or maybe we just never really had a backstory for Naboo, or even again how Atlantis came about. So like, I had to make sure I heard that correctly, and like that's crazy. It's just crazy. So I mean, I'm excited to see where this is gonna go.
I think it's one of the things about this too is it shows how strong Vandal Savage is mentally
Yeah,
to deal with everything he's dealt with in the past, however many, 1,000, 2,000 years, whatever it is. And I mean, just the 300 days and 300 nights of Clarion killing him over and over, 300 different ways. That's pretty wild. But I think he's kind of taken over, at least in my mind, as he's sort of like the Doctor Doom of the DC universe.
yeah,
He's got that kind of mental fortitude. I think much stronger than Lex Luthor.
yeah,
Much more patient than Lex
definitely. I was
Luthor.
gonna say that patient. Yep.
Absolutely. Child and Clarion sort of flee towards the end of this episode. How do you think this arc ends up? Do you think that the team, meaning Zatanna and the students and Phantom Stranger, that they're going to help out Clarion and keep somewhat of the balance, or do you think that Child will prevail? Brett, let's start with you, man.
That's a tough one. I think they'll kind of. I mean, Zatanna's going to see them both as something they don't want on Earth. So I don't know if they'll fight them both at the same time, or if they'll try to, sort of team up with the Child on Clarion, or vice versa. Man, it's kind of a coin toss at this point. I'm not sure which way they'll go.
Jericho, what about you, man?
I think yeah. I mean, it's gonna be they're gonna have to choose the lesser of two evils. They've dealt with Clarion. They've never dealt with the Child before. Um, do they help Clarion and try and stop her, especially if she's holding all the power or backed up by all the power of the Lords of Chaos? Um, I don't know, but we'll see where that goes. But I can honestly see them teaming up, with their hands kind of tied behind their backs. Just teaming up with him to try and stop her, because of what that much more evil that can come, can be released on Earth like that, or the world, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think that they will help to defeat Child, and that they'll have Clarion remain, and because Vandal, like Vandal said, he sort of has figured out subtle ways of manipulating him
Mm-hmm.
and using him for his benefit. And even when things go really bad, like Vandal's always seeing the silver lining or like the bright side of every
Yeah.
single chaotic event that Clarion is doing or creating. So lesser of two evils, literally. That's where the phrase comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Clarion and Child. Yeah. Because if Child prevails, then it seems like the Lords of Chaos want to turn it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Clarion, you're just doing whatever this human immortal guy wants, and you're not really being what we need you to be. So
Right.
if Child prevails, Child will wreck shop, and she will do it without any sort of hesitation, or do it without any restraint. And that's not good. It's not good for business for Savage. He likes chaos, but a controlled chaos. Ooh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Clarion kind of plays with his food
Yeah.
before he eats, where
Yeah.
Child just goes straight to it. But yeah, the other thing too is the the thing with Naboo. Vandal's trying to tell him, you're not going to be able to um, handle this on your own. You're going to need a new body. You've got a frail body. So I don't know if he's trying to convince him maybe to give the helmet to Zatanna or somebody else, or maybe he's trying to get him to call down another Lord of Order. Who knows?
That could be it, right? So you
Yeah.
think that conversation is taking place in the past?
No, I think it's going on now, but I think he's telling Fate, like, hey, you can't handle these two Lords of Chaos on your own in that frail old body. You're
Right.
you're going to need some help. So I don't know if
Well-
he's saying you need another Lord of Order or you need a new body, something a little stronger.
Please don't.
Imagine if Zatanna took over, like after spending all this time trying to get her dad back, and now she's the one taking over.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would be rough.
That would be very rough. I don't want
Yeah.
that to happen. Please don't let that happen. Jericho, don't let that happen.
My bad. I'm sorry. I should have said it.
And the other thing we've got to talk about is the what's her name? Mary, I think. One of the students is Shazam. She's what is it? Sergeant Marvel, I think, is what her official title was, or something in Young Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't even say Shazam. She couldn't tell the other guy who she was. She had to let Zatanna do it. But maybe
cool.
that's who the helmet's going to go to.
Yeah.
Because if you got the helmet of fate with the power of Shazam, I mean that's
Cool.
Dude, that's some major power right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they keep, bringing her up, like when she's in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah.
Jason Blood, don't touch that, don't touch that. And it could be just being playfulness in, putting some playfulness in the episode, but there's got to be a big reason why she's here, right? It's not just happenstance that she's here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're onto something. Either it could be Mary, or it would be probably more emotional for Zatanna to go, and that would. But
it has to be somebody who's strong enough to withstand the amount of power that comes with having Dr. Fate's helmet on. So, I mean, between those two, yeah. I mean, maybe Zatanna. Or maybe Mary will be the one to volunteer, but Zatanna sacrifices herself to do it. Who knows? Or maybe the opposite. Vice versa.
Yeah, and even Etrigan points out Mary. I see another something within you or something like that. I can't remember how he phrased it, but
yeah.
So it keeps kind of pointing at her. So I think something's going to be going on with her.
How cool was Etrigan in this episode, Brett?
What's that?
How cool was Etrigan in this episode?
Oh, this is awesome, man. I wish we could have seen more of him fighting, but it was awesome.
Yeah, he's a great character, and he's so much damn fun. I think the last time I saw him was Justice League, Apocalypse War. I think he was in that one too.
Possibly, yeah.
Justice League Dark and Apocalypse War, yeah.
I always like seeing him because he's somebody that you see and you don't expect him to be there. So when they were mentioning, I forgot the guy's name, but when they were mentioning that they're going to go to the Sanctum Sanctorum and they mentioned the guy, I'm like, oh, I hope he changes. And sure enough, I mean, Etrigan comes out and he's just a funny. What is he, like a demon? I can't remember exactly what he is, but he's like a god demon type deal, and he's just always funny and like I don't know, like he's very playful as well, but at the same time super powerful, But yeah, I love seeing him battle. He's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's very boastful. He's very full of himself, and he's not going to be able to, knock over Child or Clarion as easy as he does with any other entities.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Jason Blood is what you're thinking of, Jericho.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with Etrigan too is he's on a leash all the time, basically. So when they kind of let him off the leash, I'm going to have some fun.
Playtime for him, yeah.
He's Hulk if Hulk could breathe fire and also have.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
So this was episode 10. We should have 2, possibly 3 more episodes in this arc. I think that's right. I think there's 3 more in this arc, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there should be 5 episodes in this arc. Interesting.
Not bad.
Cool. We're almost to the midway point of Young Justice season 4, aka Young Justice Phantoms. We want to hear from you. So, did you watch episode 10? What did you think about it? Give us your theories. Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the comment section, and let us know what you think is going to happen next in this arc 3, that revolves around Zatanna. Again, I think they will end up helping Clarion
Yeah.
in some shape, way, or form. But yeah, I'm not 100% certain on that. I just feel like you don't have another option. Uh, like we mentioned, if Child wins, she lays waste to everything. Ooh, what if Child wins and Vandal Savage, who's in the War World? Is it the War World or War Machine? Is it the War World?
I don't know now. Now you got me thinking.
I guess it's War World. Uh, he shows up to Earth and Child wins, and Child's like, "I'm gonna destroy the planet," and he's like, "No, I'm gonna destroy the planet," and then they go up against each other.
That'd be pretty cool.
Plot twist. You heard it here. You heard it here. Folks. Can't talk.
We heard it somehow.
You heard it somehow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, that was our discussion on Young Justice. Let's actually get into Hawkeye, episode 5. I'm skipping 4 unless you guys want to talk about it. But
I mean, there were some important things that happened in 4.
hey, Jericho, tell us about what happened in 4.
So 4 last time. No,
Last
so
Hawkeye.
I mean, we find out that that Hawkeye and what's her name, Kate Bishop, are trying to track down the watch, the that coveted watch, trying to figure out where it's at. They find it. Turns out it's in Maya's apartment. Maya also has a list of Clint's family. We have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, we can assume it's to put a hit on them. Then we find out, and this is basically all near the end of the episode, that somebody ordered a Black Widow to come and fight somebody. We're not sure who. If you've seen the movie Black Widow, then you know it's because that she's being hired to kill Clint,
Yeah.
Hawkeye. But so they're battling it out on the roof. Maya's like, no idea what's going on, no idea who this person is. She basically escapes, by the skin of her teeth. And poor Kate just keeps getting kicked off the roof and like told not, stay away, go home. But she keeps coming back. She keeps coming back to help. And we end up seeing the Black Widow gets revealed to be Yelena from the Black Widow movie, Natasha's sister. So that's the end of episode 4. Some pretty important stuff happened there.
What you could have said was Yelena showed up at the end, and that would have been sufficient enough. That was all that.
Yeah. You don't think the list of the family is important, or the fact that Maya had the watch?
They didn't bring it up again in this episode, so it's just kind of like a thing that no longer matters.
We'll see. Episode 6 is coming up next week. We'll find out
And
who that watch belongs to.
The watch would be nowhere.
No, they can't put this much emphasis since episode 1 on the watch as a secondary item. Like, they can't put this much emphasis just to sweep it under the rug.
I think they will.
Okay, we'll take a bet there.
All right, here we go. Episode 5 of Hawkeye. We open on Yelena Belova in 2018, who's been traveling around the world helping Black Widows by releasing them from their mind control. Suddenly, she is dusted, another victim of the blip. Returning 5 years later, only to realize that Natasha has died. And then, leads into the end credit scene of Black Widow, which all you guys have seen. Yes, I think I saw with
just finished it this past weekend. Yeah.
Oh wow! Congrats, man! I forgot about that.
You don't have to congratulate me. It's all right.
Way to go! Let's see. Kate. Kate is back home and discussing the fact that Clint no longer wants her around as things have become too dangerous for her. This is like the third time he's kicked her to the curb, it feels like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To keep coming back. Yelena surprises Kate in her apartment, telling her that she's there to kill Clint and also made her some mac and cheese. Some delicious mac and cheese. Kate's mom has Jack arrested. Clint shares an emotional moment at the site of the New York battle in the first Avengers film, expressing how much he misses Natasha. He dons the Ronin suit once more to confront Maya, and after fighting, informs her that he was manipulated by someone under her boss Kingpin to murder her father. Elena is tailing Eleanor and texts Kate Bishop to let her know that her mother is the one that hired her to kill Clint. Her mother, who also is an associate of, drumroll please, Kingpin. As
Dun
per
dun dun.
yeah, so
So
dang,
timeout. The watch wasn't important, but the mac and cheese had to be part of the synopsis.
absolutely. Did you hear how Yelena talked about it? I wanted to eat the mac and cheese, how like delicious you were saying it was. I was convinced. I was all about that mac and cheese. You weren't? Don't lie to me.
No. I was like, it's probably the Kraft mac and cheese, a little blue box. It's no.
That's kind. What else is there?
Just
The
got to put hot
Velveeta
sauce on
one.
it.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah.
Eh,
Put a whole lot too.
Russians. Florence Pugh is so damn entertaining. Just
Yeah.
give her her own movie going forward. Give her a trilogy. Give her whatever she wants. I could just hear her talk about cooking or girls' night or traveling around New York City, whatever the hell. She could just like read a brochure about New York
And
City,
and
and I
she
would
was so
enjoy it.
casual too
Yeah.
about like, hey, I'm here to kill Clint, but while I'm here, I want to take in the sights. Help me out here. Where can I go?
Or
Like,
just
what?
Kate was like, "I could have killed you," and she's like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
"That's a funny one. You made it funny." So damn good. Yeah. Joe, you haven't said anything yet. What did you think about episode 5 of Hawkeye, man?
Wake up,
I
Joe.
thought it was good, but in episode 4, we kind of overlooked something that Clint had said
Well, what
about
was
the
it?
actual watch itself. Because when Kate Bishop was going in
Yeah.
to recover the watch, he said that the watch used to belong to someone he used to work with and
Right.
someone who's been out of the game a long time,
Right.
but their identity is still attached to the watch,
Sure.
which leads me to believe because when he was talking with his wife and his wife still helps him uncover information, she has a past. So did they meet as spies? And his wife's identity is attached to the watch. That's why they both want this thing found
Hmm.
and destroyed, because we don't know a lot about her past, you know? And there's some loose ends he
Pretty
needs to
important.
tie up beyond just Ronan itself. So
Yeah.
to me, when he was talking about that, that was very important because we don't really know a lot about the watch until we finally, oh, okay, so inside the watch is the identity of a user or somebody who was using that watch years ago and who's been out of the game a long time. I
Right.
don't know. Maybe it's his wife's identity he's trying to protect. But moving on to episode 5, a lot of exciting things happened. We get to see Elena, you know, what happened to her when she was trying to save the other Black Widows, and then she goes to the bathroom real quick, and then we just see her poof, and then she comes right back. Like it seems like 5 seconds,
Hmm.
but 5 years have progressed, and the thing is, it's crazy because when you see people coming back from the blip, you always wonder, okay, are they coming back to the point of origin where they were vaporized, or they
Yeah.
going back somewhere else? Well, it turns out that they're coming right back to the place that they were
Yeah.
turned to dust. So I'm like, okay, so when they wish them back, that's what happens. So she's very alarmed and doesn't know what's going on. Who's this? Where am I at? The whole complexion of the room changed. It was a white color, now it's green. She comes out to a stranger in the room with a little girl and a man. You know, she didn't even see her friend there, and then the friend comes out and say, "Oh, hey, how's it going? This is, you know, this is my friend." For all intents and purposes. But one of the things that really captivates you is trying to kind of traveling down the rabbit hole, you know, seeing where the story's going to go, seeing what's going to the aftermath of what happened with Kate Bishop. And she is a kid still, even though she is an adult. We still see her have that moment with her mother where she still kind of needs to be consoled, you know. And the mom's like, "Do you think you're a superhero?" And she's like, "No." She goes, "Does Clint think you're a superhero?" "No." You know, her mom doesn't was trying to figure out what's going on. She wants to extract more information from Kate, and Kate goes ahead and comes clean and says, "Hey, we did some background snooping, and we found out that there's this shell company called Sloan Ltd. You know." And the mom's just like, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe I'll check into that." Which she just, you know something's up because she's just not even flinching or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, um, so Kate is feeding her mom information. That's exactly what the mom wants, you know. And lo and behold, what do we see? That Jack, what's his name? Jack Ducents or Ducants, uh,
Duquesne, yeah.
Kate,
swordsman. Yeah, he actually is saying himself as he's being arrested in the apartment, the penthouse that they're in front of Kate Bishop. "Oh, I've been framed, you know, but we'll go ahead and clean this up and I'll be back before the Christmas party. Ha ha ha," you know? So he's taking off, and I kind of really believe the guy. I don't think he has any idea what's going on.
you
I
said he
think
was a swordsman, and you said he was the bad guy, Joe.
he's a swordsman, yes, but at this point, just the way he's conducting himself, he knows other things, but he
Yeah.
doesn't know what's really happening underneath his feet at this point. I think it's clear to say that the mom, you know, was played by what Vera Farmiga, Eleanor Bishop, she's the mastermind kind of
Yeah.
behind everything that's going on
I sent
with
you the text
with
yesterday.
one, you know, uh, Jack. So maybe she stole his identity, you know, and just like, "Hey, we're gonna use this poor guy as the scapegoat," you know?
And this is
I'm not
something that Joe and I thought about a
Oh,
long time
come
ago,
on.
like,
Come on.
probably as soon as the first episode aired,
Get out of
you
here.
know, you can
Now,
just
proof.
see she's
We
evil.
have videos. We have
She's evil,
videos.
so
no,
yeah.
but
So I'm glad you're jumping on there, Ted, you know, to jump on the bandwagon there, but,
I just think that
you know,
the
I
guy,
appreciate that. I appreciate the
he's not
support.
clean either. I mean,
Yeah.
he's done some things as well, you know? He's not gonna get off squeaky clean. I mean, he's involved in other things, you know?
But we don't
But
have proof of anything.
yeah, well, he's probably involved with other stuff, Ted. He's not gonna get off scot-free.
Tell us
The
what it is.
mom is involved the mom is more involved in what is happening as far as the shell company goes. I'm just saying at this juncture, you can kind of tell that Jack isn't just squeaky clean. He hasn't done anything. He's done some things as well. You know,
Didn't Jack didn't Jack kill the old man
No, we have
with the
zero
sword?
proof.
Because
We
the old
don't have
man was
proof.
killed. Wasn't he killed with the Ronin sword? And
Yeah.
Jack had the sword, right?
It doesn't say that it was killed with the Ronin sword. He was
Yeah.
killed with the sword, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's true.
There's no evidence to show you with what sword he was killed
And
with.
just because he had the candy as well, I think, I mean, that was his uncle, so I think it was maybe he just kinda had some candy, you know, from when he
But
visited at one point.
if you look
It
in
was
like
so
the
dumb
first
to like
couple
jump
episodes,
to a conclusion because of a butterscotch candy. It's like,
yeah,
how many people have that butterscotch candy in their house? You know how many
yeah,
old people have butterscotch candy in their
a
house?
lot.
But it was monogrammed too, that was the big thing.
Let me go get
And
some monogram butterscotch candy in my kitchen right now.
Yeah, but
and
the
he was killed
sword,
by a sword.
he was
So
killed by a
And
sword, but
yeah,
the thing is that
put 2 and
Eleanor
2
Bishop
together.
has a shit ton of swords in her penthouse.
Mhm.
yeah,
You
This
know,
true.
there's
the
tons of them
And
everywhere.
sword,
and he turns out to be a swordsman, I
Eleanor,
mean, come on.
Eleanor took the Ronin sword. It's in her house.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, I
gonna
mean, it
find
could be.
we're gonna find out that Eleanor took the sword in order to frame Jack.
I'd rather find out
Jack
who the
Jack
watch
is the one
belongs
that
to.
stole the sword to begin with, so I think Jack maybe wanted to give it as a gift or something to her. I don't know what he's gonna use it for, but he was going there to get the sword during that black market auction. That
Yeah.
that was his item that he wanted, you know?
I
That's
just gotta
that much
say
is
that
clear.
that actor Tony Dalton is awesome, man. The
Yeah.
way
He
he plays Jack DeCann, he's he's great. That was a perfect casting for that character.
But he's funny too because he gets all his puns wrong. You know, like he
Yeah.
never gets it correct. You know, everything that he says is always wrong. And one of the other things that I want to take away from this whole episode is they keep coming back to this thing with, oh, you know, let's not, you know, they're afraid of the kingpin. They know he's a bad guy. You know, they don't want to kind of get on his radar. You know, that's what Clint is saying. I don't want to get him involved, you know, because then everything's going to go sideways because he knows he's a pretty powerful guy with a lot of connections.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants to avoid. You know, that's why he's like, oh, let me go ahead and try to reach Maya. You know, he's trying to, you know, mull things over with Maya. He's like, I got to, because if not, she's going to go tell the kingpin. Doesn't matter. At the end, we find out, lo and behold, that Eleanor Bishop is the one that is talking with the kingpin. You know, that's a big reveal. And everybody gets excited at the end, you know, this episode because Carlton Fisk, the kingpin, he's right there, you know, and you can see something's going to happen. Something bad is going to happen. It's coming. But we don't know exactly what that might be. But I think at the end, we can see that Kate Bishop is really taken aback because she's like, I had no idea, you know, because Yelena's the one texting her, oh, I don't know who the person was. And that's the thing, is that I suspected that it was Eleanor Bishop that actually called and put the hit out. I was like, you know what?
What are you
It
talking
kind
about?
of, it
Never
kind
mentioned
of,
anything like this.
I suspected that. It doesn't mean I have to tell you everything, Ted. I suspected it. I was
We
like,
have
oh.
a podcast where we talk about everything that happens in the show.
But I'm just telling you, I kind of suspected that that was going to happen. You know, I was like, okay.
We haven't even talked about. Never mind. Forget it. You're right, Joe. You came up
I
with
didn't
all
say
the
I'm
whole
right.
plot.
I suspected that, but
You came up with
you
the
know,
whole. You suspected it from episode 1, 2.
no,
That
I
you
suspected it from. I suspected it when we saw her talking with Clint at the elevator, and she's having that moment with him, saying, "Hey, you need to leave my daughter alone. You know, this is my daughter. I can't have nothing happen to her." And she's looking at him with intent in her eyes. And this is something that a mom, a parent, isn't going to let go. And when he says, "Oh, I can't let this go," he's like, boom, let me pick up the phone. I got to make a call real quick.
She
You know?
had that I can really mess you up look without even
Yeah.
lifting a finger. Now, I'll say honestly, I may not have said anything, but I legit knew from day one she's somehow corrupted, somehow involved. She had that secret meeting with Armand in the first episode. I mean, it's her, you know, like she always comes out whenever she's playing a character, she's either evil or getting attacked by ghosts and demons. You know what I mean? So
anything.
but I'm saying though, is she always she has that look
Ghosts and
and her
demons in this show. So she must be a bad guy.
But the thing is with her, she's a single mom, right? They show that
Yeah.
her husband passed away. They weren't really wealthy. At the end of the day, you see her make this huge transition when they come
Yeah.
back, and she has money all of a sudden. So at the end of the day, she's having to do whatever she has to do to provide for her kid and to keep continuing the lifestyle that she loves so
maybe
much.
she ordered the Shatari to come down to Earth to kill the husband, so that way she'll get rich. That's how evil she is. That's how I'm
No.
calling it right now. End of episode 6. That's how we're gonna learn. That's the plot twist right
You
there.
just know that she's a bad girl. You're somebody you don't want to mess with, man. There it goes. You're just as bad as Rob, bro.
Yeah. There he is.
I love the fact that they had Kingpin in there at the end in that picture,
Yeah.
but even more so that it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that it's really cool about it is this really opens up a lot. You know, the fact that same actor, same character. This brings in. I mean, now does that mean? And because Kevin Feige just announced what was it last week that whenever Daredevil comes back, it will be played by Charlie Cox. I mean, that's another Netflix character,
Sure.
Netflix series character. So does that mean Jessica Jones? You know, Luke
Iron
Cage,
Fist.
Iron Fist, like so now we have that opening there for them to come in and be a part of the MCU. So that's freaking awesome. Just with one, Loki showed us variants and multiverse. Now we're getting the MCU Netflix verse combination. But it's it opens up that window there. It allows us to be able to bring in those characters.
One
When
of the
does
things, too,
Jessica
Ted,
Alba come back as
let's
Sue
talk
Storm?
about
That's what I
Kazi.
want to know.
What's that, Ted?
I said, when does Jessica Alba come back as Sue Storm? That's what I want to
Oh
know.
my God! Never,
She might not. Sorry to
never.
break it to you.
If Toby and Andrew are now going to be canon, possibly
They haven't even introduced the
any
Fantastic Four yet.
Marvel,
So.
that means any Marvel character can be canon or can
Yeah.
be brought back. Boom.
Yeah. But they have to introduce them first, so we'll have
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Are you guys
So when-
100%? Yeah, see? On Facebook, Carpa Cassia says, yes, please.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we'll just have to wait, see when they want to go ahead and introduce
They are
Fantastic Four.
Thank you.
That's my buddy George.
There you go.
Shout out to George.
There you go.
Yeah, but let's talk about Kazi. Kazi doesn't seem like he's very innocent in all this. You know, and
Hold
Maya
on.
started to put some things together,
I'll
man.
say this: I
Write
from day
down some
one. I'm
theories.
kidding.
I'm going to write down what your theory is. That way you can't change it next week. Only you.
No one's switching anything. We're just talking about the episode.
So
Talk
that
about
watch theory,
so
though,
you
there is a
predict-
theory about the watch
Yeah.
that it does belong to Laura, Clint's wife,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
and that she's actually Mockingbird. Because in the
Okay.
comics, he elopes with Mockingbird. So it's possible that they may introduce her as Mockingbird, and that's
There you
why Fury kind of had her hidden and kind of erased her from the books, and why nobody knew about her until Avengers came out to the farm and met her.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why she didn't go to New York, is because Kingpin and the people that are after her are in New York, and she was avoiding that.
See, I
So-
love that. We think she's just Clint's wife and the family, and they're just in protection, or like trying to be out of the picture. But now there's a possibility that she's another spy, hero, whatever you want to call her. Like that's awesome. I like that theory.
Which was something I mentioned 2 weeks.
Proof? Where's the proof, Ted?
It's a video episode. You can watch it.
I don't believe it.
Ted knows all, sees all, knows
Yeah.
everything. You want your lotto
Videos can be
number?
manipulated,
Go to
Ted.
Ted.
I
Ted
don't
knows
know.
them.
Because when she's talking to Clint, she
This
starts
guy.
speaking in a whole nother language.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
where'd that come
He's
from?
speaking
Yeah.
in Russian.
And
And the
we-
fact that she was never jealous of Black Widow.
Yeah. She knew the relationship. Yeah. She was part of it. Yeah.
or she knew she couldn't compete. She was like, "Yeah, go for it. As long as you come home later on, that's fine."
Well, have your fun and
Maybe
just don't do
she'll hold her
anything.
own against a Black Widow. Who knows? You know.
Anywho, cool. Are you guys 100% certain that this Kingpin is the Netflix version of Kingpin, or are we dealing in some
Oh,
weird
God,
multiverse?
really?
Is there a 1% chance this is a multiversal?
Let's record right now, Jericho, so Ted can't change his mind later and say, "I knew it all along. I was right."
So I'm going to say yes. There is that small chance that this could be some kind of variant, but I mean, if he's being portrayed as this big boss, I mean, he may not be the Netflix version, but he's still Kingpin. He's still this big boss who's in charge of pretty much all the gangs, pretty much crime and all that. It has to be the same actor. Like, I mean, that's pretty evident. I doubt it's any kind of body double. Hopefully they won't go through that much trouble because of we saw what happened with Quicksilver. But I think he is a variant, and like I said, I don't think they would change them up enough.
Variant.
What's that?
He's a variant, or he's not a variant? Because you just said earlier that this was the Netflix guy.
Well, no, I'm hoping that it's a Netflix one, but it's possible that it's a variant. But that I can have that opinion, Ted.
Maybe it's one, maybe it's the other. Joe, what about you, man?
This way I'm not wrong, or I'm 50% wrong.
No, I think it is the Kingpin that we all, are excited about from the Netflix Daredevil series. I'm pretty sure it's going to be him. You lead to the voice. You've heard the voice. You've seen even the video, you've seen the hand, when he was touching Maya, all that kind of thing. It's all a tease leading up to finally the big reveal of the Kingpin that we're all so enamored with. It is going to be him. I think it's going to be one of those big jaw dropping moments for Daredevil fans and Kingpin fans, because this is the moment that a lot of fans have been waiting for so long. So it's kind of going to be their Luke Skywalker moment. They're going to be like, "Oh my God, look, there he is!" So everybody's going to get all excited. It's already creating a lot of traction right now on social media. Fans have gone to Twitter to express how enamored they were to finally not only see Alina and Kate Bishop and have their little conversation, and they were so excited for that, but also to be excited to see the final, reveal of the Kingpin, which
Yeah.
leads me to believe one thing. Everybody always says, when are they going to introduce mutants into the MCU? Well, the thing is, unfortunately, the Kingpin is not a mutant. He's just a little bit more durable and a little bit stronger than your average human. So, dun dun dun, that's not going to happen. But it's
Not yet.
exciting nonetheless.
Yeah. Mutants are coming. Don't worry.
They're coming, but not right now.
Joe, you heard it here. Joe said no mutants. Joe
Not
said
right
Never.
now. Not
never.
right now. Not in this.
Said.
Not in this episode. Not
How
in
long?
this series.
I'm gonna get you on record then. How long until we see
Go
mutants?
ahead.
How
I
long?
think it's still probably going to be a little bit.
How long? Give me a time frame.
A little
Not
bit,
you.
Ted.
I'm not you, Ted. I can't see into the future, brother. Apparently, you know.
We
the
don't
last
write for
time-
Marvel like you do,
Month?
Ted.
1
Yeah.
year? 2 years? What is it, Joe?
It's going to take a while, man. They're going to have to set it up. It's not going to be happening in like
Next week,
this
getting
next
mutant on the
phase.
show. Joe's
Not
gonna be
going to
like, I
happen.
told you a little while. I
Not
told
going to
you.
happen in this next phase. Not in phase 4. I don't believe that. I think they'll set something up for the next phase, maybe phase 5. They'll start
Yeah.
introducing mutants, but for right now, they already have their story arc set. So I don't believe they're going to have the introduction of any mutants.
Don't.
Not in phase 4.
They don't have the story arc set. We actually found out last week that Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland, they rewrote that damn thing. They had a plan, they had a story, they had a script, and they said, "You know what? We're going to redo everything." And they're not telling us what it is, but Tom Holland in an interview said we were going to have Craven. It was going to be me versus Craven, and that was going to be the
That would
movie.
have been dope.
Sure, that would have been dope. But whatever idea they have instead, they said, "Screw Craven, we're going big. We're going bigger." So
Yeah.
no, Marvel is flexible. Marvel can change.
I
The
hear that they're flexible, but I think at this juncture, they have other characters that they want to introduce first that are still in the MCU versus trying to go ahead and introduce all this whole other era of mutants and this other universe. I know they're getting into the multiverse, but as we all know, they have to have the setup, and trying to do everything too quickly, I think would ruin everything. But gradually introducing
Marvel's
things is going to
doing
be
it.
great.
We've already got a vampire hunter that got teased recently. Like, if that's not moving too quickly, then I don't know what is.
But he's not a mutant.
I didn't say it was a mutant. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, they're not slowing down with giving us new characters because they already
They're
teased.
introducing characters, but they're not introducing mutants. They're careful not to drop the M word. Let's put it
Yeah.
like that.
Carpe says, I think phase 5. And he also says, mutants, phase 5. WandaVision, Quicksilver crossover created the connection.
Yeah.
I think that, well, first we're going to ask Brett. Brett, Kingpin, is this the Netflix version? Is there any possibility that we're dealing with a multiverse? That whatever happened in those shows didn't happen in the same MCU? Even though there were connections, they were very vague, but there were still connections. They were calling out Avengers characters on those Netflix series. We never saw any of them, but they definitely were like somewhere in the planet.
I'm okay with being wrong. I'll go ahead and say that it's the Netflix version.
Awesome. And I'm going to agree. I think you spent a lot of time sort of building
You
that.
can't change your answer now, Jericho.
Hey, it could be either way with me, so that's what I
Ted was
said.
setting
I'm
you up.
good.
I
I'm good.
I think that you spent way too much time developing that character, and it was
Yeah.
a beautiful arc between seasons 1 and season 3. And I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly because it's been what 3 years since the final season of Daredevil, maybe 4. but I feel like Kingpin wore that white suit at the end of that third season because he finally sort of became that comic book uh, Kingpin level threat
Mhm.
that we all know. Like he was Kingpin in seasons one and he wasn't really in season 2, right? I think I can't remember correctly. He wasn't in
He had a
season
lot
2.
of
He
airtime.
was
True.
towards the end, something like that. But yeah, he had vulnerabilities in the first season. Like he had a weakness that I guess someone who wanted to could take advantage of. But by the end of that third season, those weaknesses were gone.
Mhm.
Those vulnerabilities were gone. He was just here to wreck shop and take down anybody who got in his way. And so I think that's also when he just started wearing nothing but the white suit. And I feel like that was telling the audience, like, he's here now. This is it. He's ready to go. And yeah, so I definitely think this is the Netflix version. And I think that Marvel can pretty much, I think they're willing to challenge themselves. You probably heard that. Let's see. I think Marvel is willing to test out what they can do and challenge themselves. And I think we're going to get mutants before the end of this phase, before end of phase 4. And I honestly, if we get mutants by Multiverse of Madness, I would not be surprised.
All
'Cause-
right, we got it on tape, Ted.
yeah,
And
I'm saying,
you mentioned Craven earlier. They
yeah.
really do need to bring him in though,
Well, they
because
Yeah.
have.
he's the only one that's left of the Sinister Six that
I
hasn't been
think
introduced yet.
I think they mentioned that they might have him in one of the upcoming movies.
Well, what they
Or
mentioned
he's
was they're
getting,
giving him his own movie,
yeah,
Yeah.
which could also just be like, what do you call it? Not a decoy, but it could be misguiding us. What
like
forget what
a red herring kind of deal.
could be. Could absolutely be that.
It's
But yeah, they hired
diversionary tactic, maybe.
the guy that played Quicksilver for him.
Aaron, what was it? What was the question?
Didn't they hire the guy that played Quicksilver to be
Yeah,
Kraven, right?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Marvel, especially with how big and how I'm not looking at any specifics on reviews, but like the tomato meter for No Way Home is like through the roof. I saw it when it was at like 20 or 25 reviews. It was at 100%. So yeah, I think Marvel's now just like they're flexing. They're ready to flex. They're just taking victory laps now. They're just going to be like, we're just going to give you bangers from here on out. Quantumania, Multiverse of Madness. Hell, I loved Shang-Chi and the Legend
Hmm.
of the Ten Rings. Like, that movie was awesome.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I
Got Love
actually,
and Thunder coming.
yeah, like Love and Thunder is going to be massive. Like
Hmm.
Christian Bale, you kidding me? As Gore and all that good stuff. Yeah, no, I think Marvel's just like we're just ready to hit home run after home run, and we're not gonna stop or take our time with any of this.
Yeah.
Especially because
I was
they
gonna say
got
if they're gonna introduce Craven,
the Eternals. Like they teased so many. They teased Black Knight by the end of it. It's like you didn't have to do that. They teased Blade by the end of it. Spoiler alert for
yeah.
Jericho, who probably hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh
So I
Lord.
I knew about it though.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like I don't see them slowing down. Like I don't think they need to. They don't need to. They don't want to. We'll see.
And that's like with the end of I still haven't seen Venom 2, but I've seen the clip with Spider-Man. Like things like that is how they can introduce the mutants at some point. I I need to start keeping track of this stuff, but I've said as soon as Multiverse of Madness was announced, as soon as Loki and WandaVision took place, I said to myself, self, mutants are going to be
Oh God.
Yeah,
mutants are going to be coming at some
absolutely.
point after, if not in, but after a Multiverse of Madness.
Way to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And myself was just like, hey, it's a pretty good,
Wait,
it's a pretty
wait
good.
up. Good job, Jerry.
I
Yeah.
don't think so yet. Maybe phase 5. But if they're gonna introduce Craven, I hope they also introduce Calypso, the voodoo priestess as well. They go
Mm.
kind of hand in hand in the story arcs for Spider-Man. They had one in particular, the Spider-Man comic book that was drawn by Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite comic book artists
Mm.
of all time. It was either the second or third episode of that comic where they had the lizard, and they also had Craven, and they had the voodoo priestess and all that. It was a really good story arc. I hope they kind of introduce at least Craven and the voodoo priestess because
Yeah,
I think
that'd
they're
be
dope
cool.
together, man.
And actually, they did have mutants already in
Shoot.
Deadpool when he was fixing the timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
And he went back and
When he
killed
was at the
himself
X-Men.
from the Wolverine movies.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
but that was still a Fox property, though.
Yeah.
yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
That was like the last. Was that the last Fox? No. The last one was Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. Yeah.
No, they had another one. What was it called? The New Mutants.
Oh, New Mutants. Yeah,
So
Oh yeah.
wasn't
they
that
made
Fox?
that way before Dark Phoenix. They just
No,
never.
but I'm saying the last movie that I believe that we saw from Fox was the New Mutants. It was delayed, and it finally
I haven't
came out.
seen it. Yeah, poor movie. Like I just gave up on it. I'm like,
It's
whenever you come
not,
out, just
you're not missing much. It's on HBO Max, Jericho, and
oh okay.
it's not that
Check it
good,
out.
dude. You can watch it and you'll be bored.
Kind of like with Black
It's
Widow.
mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh God, Black Widow was not boring, Jericho.
No, we'll talk about that later.
You thought Black Widow was boring? I'm gonna
Yeah,
call
it
you
took me
Robert.
about 3 days to watch it.
I'm gonna call you Robert. You're the new Robert of the show.
I literally watched it just so I can, for one thing, learn who Yelena is because I knew she was some. Everyone kept saying how she's important, and then two, I wanted to see the end credit scene, which I don't know why I just never saw it online, but I wanted to see what the end credit scenes were, and yeah, I was like, okay, it took me forever to see this movie, but I'm glad I didn't pay to go see it.
Have you seen Shang-Chi, Jericho?
I was there at the freaking private screening.
Yeah,
That was an
I
amazing
forgot.
movie.
you guys were sharing a popsicle. Y'all remember that?
No, that was the last movie that we saw. What was it? The Ghostbusters one when Teddy was there.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, Shang-Chi was an amazing movie. I mean, so far with Marvel, I know we're getting off subject and all that, but with Marvel, the first Doctor Strange and Black Widow, and what's the other freaking Thor 2, Dark World, and Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, whatever. Those are the only four that I have not been a fan of. Oh, and Guardians 2. I've seen them all once, and I don't plan on watching them again, even if it's like on HBO Max or wherever, or Disney Plus or anything like that. I just didn't get into them. But
Just don't say that Ant-Man's your favorite, like Rob, dude.
no, not my favorite, but it was good though.
Imagine saying Infinity War is bad and Ant-Man 2 is the best MCU movie.
So we don't have to get into that, but I Robert and I were at lunch when Infinity War came out, and we were just like, why the hell is Ted and JC and I think was it Dusty at the time, like they were just hyping up this movie so much, and we saw it and we're just like, it was good. It wasn't what everyone is like freaking out about. I was like, oh, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I wouldn't say worse than Ant-Man 2. Ant-Man 2 was good, but
Brett, you see what I do with on a weekly basis?
Wasn't
Isn't
Rob
that
the same guy who liked emo Spider-Man though?
Oh, man.
I mean, come on.
That's
Is his opinion valid after that?
he's all over the place. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, you know, there's some good movies out there that Marvel makes, some ambitious projects, but not
What
all
did
of
you think
them.
of Thor: The Dark World, Jericho? I gotta know.
It was one of the bottom for me for sure.
that's obvious.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. That's why I had to ask Jericho.
definitely one of the bottom movies for me, the bottom of the list. I mean, it's not. It just wasn't all bad. Like I don't know. They found their footing in Ragnarok, but with Dark World, like I need it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again just so I can know why I hated it. But it just wasn't like I remember the story was confusing. Ooh, let's see what's going on here.
Well, so Carpe earlier mentioned that the WandaVision Quicksilver crossover created the connection, but they duped us. That
Yeah.
wasn't Quicksilver. It was never meant to be Quicksilver. Marvel was trolling us. They were trolling us, and we all took the bait. And now Carpe says, if not a crossover created loop, whereas the multiverse can help introduce any and every Marvel character in upcoming movies.
Yeah.
I think again, I feel like Marvel decided like we're gonna mess with people. Let's pick the Quicksilver guy, and there's zero connection, like 0.0000 connection to Quicksilver at all.
But
Loki's the one where we finally get a multiverse type scenario in a live action. If you want to go overall, then it's Into the Spider Verse. That's where the multiverse is created in like
yeah,
one of the first Marvel Studios properties, Into the Spider Verse, which it's kind of more Sony than
right.
Marvel Studios, but like in the recent history, Into the Spider Verse gets that credit. I think if you're looking at not Loki did it. I feel like
As far
beautiful.
as with an MCU connection, yes, Loki did it.
Yeah,
But I would say with Loki, they could easily, and Marvel's done this, they could easily retcon and say, hey, remember Boner? Turns out, yes, he was an actor, but he's a variant of Pietro. But in this version, he was just an actor portraying,
they
portraying Quicksilver, somebody
they
he's
have similar life paths. It can't just be like, oh, this guy grew up over here, and this guy grew up on the other side of the world and never had a sister, and like, no, it's not the same. It was a troll. It was a damn troll. It had
we'll see.
zero
I still
nose. Brett, what
don't
it
I don't know if it's the conglomerate that Marvel is, but that's ballsy to do that. Like
is.
they
It,
they
it,
risk they risk the wrath of fans, and I know fans still attacked and all that stuff. They still gave their 2 cents to keyboard warriors that are out there, but they still that's still a big risk of either that's like saying like, hey, we're huge, take this little jab, but you're still going to come see our movies. You're still going to pay us and make us continue to make us rich and keep us on top.
here
Like
here's exactly how much Marvel Studios cares about the wrath of the fans. Zero. They
okay,
don't care. You want to know why? I'll give you one example why. Who is the worst character in Phase One? Worst character in Phase One.
because they're not DC. No.
I'll tell you, the worst character, the worst decision Marvel made in Phase One was Trevor. Bar none, no doubt about it, Trevor was the worst decision they had made in Phase One. You know what they did in you know what they did in Shang-Chi? They brought him back. They made him freaking awesome. They made him a lovable guy. They gave him a pet pig with no eyes and wings.
Pokemon. Give 'em Pokemon.
that Pokemon.
Marvel just gets to point and laugh and say, "Ha ha, we made you love Trevor now. You do what we want. You do what we say. We make how
So
high."
it's the same thing with Boner. They can easily say, "Remember that guy that we said was
They
just an actor?
They don't care. They did stop saying boner. They
That
did
was
Just
his
boom.
name."
they over because they knew they could get away with it. They knew that nothing was gonna happen. We can't touch them. They're on another level. They're on another stratosphere.
You live by the sword and you die by the sword. They're
I'll
gonna
talk
keep
to
on
They
Kevin.
getting
gave
I'll,
you.
us
I'll
a
reach out
boner.
to Kevin and
Yeah.
see when we have brunch tomorrow. I'm gonna say, what's going on, Kev? Come on.
Marvel's playing a dicey game there. Sooner or later, that trick isn't going to work and it's going
Yeah,
to backfire.
boom, right
It's not.
there.
It's not.
I'm just saying.
Probably
You,
when they
you,
try to make a Fantastic Four movie.
it has to be a lot better than the other one. I mean, come on. The other one was trash. The most recent one was horrible.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What
It was
what was
really
horrible?
bad. The most recent Fantastic Four movie was bad.
Not the Jessica Alba films.
Not the Jessica Alba one. The
The one
most
where the
recent
director
one.
actually bashed his own movie.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It
What
was bad.
yeah. No. Absolutely horrible. Like r terrible decision made after terrible decision. The
Yeah.
casting was fine, but
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
they
script,
didn't
man.
have anything to do. Yeah. No. We all agree there, but that was also Fox. People need to stop giving Fox credit for anything they've done. The only good thing Fox has done the last like 10 years as Deadpool, but that's all Ryan Reynolds and the director David what's his face. Zero to do with Fox. Fox didn't want to produce it. They didn't want
Yeah.
to. The only reason why they
Scared.
canceled it is Ryan Reynolds leaked the test footage. So
Allegedly leaked the test footage.
it was he did absolutely did.
But y'all are talking about mutants and all that, and you see the series that's come out recently with MODOK.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of fun, and it's been funny to watch. It's a comedy.
You gotta watch it. I just don't have time.
The thing is that I want to see Mojo. You want to introduce
dude.
introduce Mojo
Yes.
World. It opens the floodgates for every damn thing, dude.
We don't
Well,
need it.
Ted probably doesn't know who Mojo is.
We don't need Mojo World. He's like
You need Mojo World. That's where Shatterstar came from, dude. Come on now.
You know what? What I was gonna say. Speaking of MODOK, did y'all hear the news that they might bring back somebody, a former character, to be turned into MODOK
I
in the
heard they,
next Ant-Man film?
I heard they weren't gonna do that. heard
You know who I'm talking about?
Does it start-
Killian.
does it
Aldrich
start with
Killian.
Batten Loxwald?
Well, I don't remember his name.
Aldrich Killian.
I remember.
is MODOK.
What?
I remember his alter ego. So the guy that played Yellow Jacket, the character, is that the same one you're talking about?
Oh no.
No,
Yeah.
Not
they
what I
want to bring in MODOK from the MCU. I mean, they want to bring him back. They've already introduced him in Iron Man 3, Aldrich Killian. That is MODOK.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. But in the article that I read, and it was several articles, that the talk is that somehow Yellow Jacket was going to come back. The character, I don't know what his name was, and he would become MODOK because he's trapped in the quantum realm, and we've never heard he never technically died. So maybe it messed with his brain. Maybe he's made a pact with Kang. Anyway, this is turning into a whole thing. But I'm gonna find the article. I'm gonna find it.
Heard it here first, folks. Yellow Jack's Kang Pact. I love it. I love the theories. Brett, what do you got, man?
I got nothing.
Carpe says opening the multiverse created endless Marvel
Yeah.
possibilities. No, absolutely. And I love Loki for that. I love Loki for like blowing our minds and telling us like we are at the end of time, like literally physically end of time, and we just open a whole Pandora's box of like chaos, and now anything and everything is possible because of how Loki ended, because there's nobody there to guard stuff anymore. There's nobody there. We need a Lord of Order. They killed,
Exactly. Boom.
they killed the
I'm
Lord
just-
of Order, and all we have now is chaos.
I'm just waiting for them to officially introduce Nexus beings. We've been teased this
just
whole
said
time
another
about it. I want to see a next. I want them to officially say,
I don't think
"Oh, this is what's gonna. This is why this character is so special. This is why this character is so special."
I think that's too much. I really do.
They've already teased it, so I'm hopeful. Maybe in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, make a connection.
Everything's gonna happen in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, maybe
That's
they'll
the
finally
key movie
say-
right there. Mutants are gonna come out. They're gonna get introduced.
Did y'all see the leaked trailer?
I don't know if it's legit or not, but it looks pretty damn good.
It's absolutely legit. It was.
I don't know. I
not
think
seen it.
that's
I need to check it
Deadpool
out.
here trying to plug bootleg stuff, dude. Fan footage. You heard it here first.
You wouldn't be able to come up with that much original footage like that. No, not possible at all.
I'm just saying.
I
Ted,
don't know that
wait.
fan footage or fan trailer for where all three Spider-Man are in the fighting, like
Listen, that's original footage,
it looks pretty good.
but none of
But
that
it wasn't original.
It's all pulled from old films.
It was recycled.
The
That
color
was convincing.
every shot.
Yeah.
Send me the link. I'll determine. I'll make it once and for all. Final answer. The gavel has.
I just
been
hope
hit.
it's not a bootleg.
Carpe
When
says.
do you think we'll see the X-Men?
Carpe says agree. So he agrees
Yeah.
with my Loki theory. I'm just kidding.
X-Men are coming out in the Multiverse of Madness.
So Carpe says. Carpe says
Yeah.
X-Men will be out in the Multiverse of Madness. Carpe
That's
will.
when
Which
records-
version of the X-Men? Is it like was it Storm with the Mohawk? Because that's the
The-
one I want
ooh,
to see,
thinking about
where
the
it's
one
where it's
from the
Wolverine
80s,
and Storm get together. That
80s and 90s.
Yes.
that era of X-Men would be
You
awesome.
have the X-Men, the
With the
Uncanny.
Morlocks and all of that.
Yeah,
Carpe
one of
says,
my favorite characters from way back when of the Uncanny X-Men was what's his name?
don't interrupt George. George says Deadpool 3 should be all just bootleg footage with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
All right, go on.
bootleg footage. That sounds like something Ted would make.
Yep. Hey, but we pay to see it.
Bootleg Ghostbusters is what Ted would make. Him and his onesie buddies all in there,
How do you know? How do you know?
running around the streets of San Antonio.
You do,
Going through my video collection.
you do what is it called? A Sweden
Yeah.
version where it's all bootleg?
It's all bootleg going through the Manger Hotel.
What are we talking about right now? Are we talking about Hawkeye still?
Oh,
Did we finish?
Hawkeye ended a long time ago.
a long time ago.
Let's see. So we only got one episode left. This is like limited series
Yeah.
territory here. Brett, how does Hawkeye end? Do you think?
Oh man.
Well, I gotta ask this question. We all know that Clint is willing to do anything for his family, right?
Yeah.
We all know that. Absolutely, we know that. And now he has Yelena, who is hunting him down because she probably still thinks he has something to do with the death of Natasha. And we also know that Maya is also like slightly still pissed off at him for the death of her father. So if you got two of these badass females coming after you, what are the odds that Clint doesn't make it out of this series, Brett?
I don't think they'll kill him off. He'll make it out of this. I think he's gonna. I think Yelena's gonna find out the truth. Echo already knows, or Maya already knows that Kingpin is really the one that ordered her father's death. So I think her focus is starting to shift to Kingpin already. I think we might see a team up of the three of them going after Kingpin. And I think if the watch theory is correct, that it is Laura's watch, we may see her coming into it at some point. Or if
Or maybe
Kingpin may go after Clint's family. Who knows?
Maybe take up the mantle now that Clint is gone.
Yeah.
Don't forget that we still have the new costume unveil to look forward to in this next
I
episode.
was so mad. I knew that was going to happen, but I was like, come on, just show it now. Why make us wait a week?
They gotta make you wait, man. They gotta make you wait.
Is he gonna have the H in his face?
I hope so.
Let's put
I
some
hope
money.
he has the wings. I hope he has the little bat.
And like a very bright purple, because it wasn't subtle in the comics.
Yeah. I love when
didn't
she
see
was
it,
drawing
that's
that out in
Oh,
like
yeah.
the first episode or whatever, and she draws the little wings on there.
Yep.
Jericho, how does this series end? Does Clint make it out alive?
I think he does make it out alive, and not just because I want him to, but like what Brett said, the Maya's focus is now on Kingpin. Hawkeye got in her head just enough for her to start questioning everything, and now she's not going to even worry about him. I think Yelena may step off, may back off once she learns this is her mom and this has gone up, and also because of Natasha too. Like somehow she's going to learn early on Clint and Natasha were best friends, and they've done all these missions together, all this stuff. She sacrificed. He was about to go down there and sacrifice himself. She ended up stopping him, and she killed herself. So I think hopefully she realizes that on time, to where she'll either back off or maybe even help them somehow stop Kingpin. What's that?
How do you think she finds that out, though?
I don't know. That's the hard thing about it. Like
personal information that only Clint knows. It feels like
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah,
Is
like I mean,
there
it's
is there a chance that she saw him doing that apology in the street
yeah. See, there you go.
where
So something like that. Yeah,
Yelena, because Yelena's following him. Yelena's
Mhm.
trying to find him. So is there a chance that she saw that where he had the heartfelt moment there where he was
Yeah.
apologizing for not being able to save her?
This might have been around the same time though that she's following Eleanor.
True.
No,
True.
Possibly, yeah. But somehow, yeah, like you said, Ted, I think with the personal information, there has to be something because as close as they were, she has to find out quickly that again that Natasha did it to herself and stopped Clint from making the sacrifice. So but I don't think he's going to bite the dust because of Yelena or Maya. If he does, then it's going to be because Kingpin like had some kind of like marksman or something like really just take him out. But I don't want him to go, But who knows?
no. How does this show end?
Ideally, you would want his story arc to end here, and his family to go ahead and continue, and for Kate Bishop to pick up the mantle of the new Hawkeye. But in this new era MCU, everything has to have a happy ending. So I would think that Clint's going to miraculously make it out. He's going to go ahead and mentor one Kate Bishop, kind of bring her to speed. Maybe she's going to wind up picking up the mantle, and he's going to gracefully bow out and say,
Yeah,
"Okay, I am officially done. My time as an Avenger is over. Now it is your time, Kate." Because I think what Marvel low key is start introducing the next generation of Avenger. We've kind of seen that happening already. So I think they're thinking, okay, this is the time to start kind of passing the mantle, and the
yeah,
Avengers that came before them kind of be the mentors to the younger generation that's going to supersede them.
Yeah, I think you're just reading George's comment now. So
I was gonna say that was almost a word for word.
we see you, George. We see
But
you, man.
but I like that though. Like it's you want to get that happy ending with everyone thinks he's dead, but then from us as the audience, we know he's alive and well, and now this is their way of being protected moving forward.
They pull up
And
Dark Knight Rises.
exactly,
Yeah, because you've already
Kate
seen
just
what
kind
is
of
it?
like raises her bow.
Yeah, because we've already seen the uprise or the rising of the new Captain America.
Yeah,
You've kind of seen Tony Stark's daughter. You've seen Ant-Man's daughter already. Maybe she might have an appearance, start showing more interest in picking up the costume, and becoming the new Ant-Man. So the setup is there already. They
yeah,
just need to go ahead and start pulling the trigger on some things. And I think this is probably that little inkling, that little face towards the next generation of Avenger.
yeah,
Sure.
You could even see Fury come in and kind of erase Clint's history there to make sure everyone thinks he's dead. And
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's like,
You
hey, I
know?
know a ship that'll help us out. You can go up there and hang out like I've been
right,
doing.
You've been right all along. It's been Jericho all along.
There you go. Boom.
All along.
Mark it. Keep track of this.
Dun, dun.
We need to get a shirt for Ted for Christmas that says "I'm always right."
Yeah. I like it.
But my wife tells me that already.
Oh.
You know what, man?
Yeah,
You don't want
chocolate.
to bring her in the room and say that, Ted. I'm sure she's got something else to tell you.
Let me text her
Hey,
You
real
might
quick.
get hit on the head with the chancla.
I want to talk about how the series has gone, and can I say like they've been actually really teasing the end of Hawkeye for sure, but possibly the end of Clint, because this series is about Clint facing his sins,
Yeah.
atoning for his sins. Like there's just certain things, even as a hero, you're not allowed to get away from. And if Clint Barton went on a murderous rampage out for years, like you're not supposed to be able to get away with that. You're not
Hmm.
supposed to be able to have a happy ending. Marvel feels bold and yeah, and Clint Barton, but I think that they won't have the heart fans, and for sure this will be the end of Hawkeye. Mainly because George says allegedly murdered. Nah, bro, we saw it. We saw it.
It did-
He was just wiping off blood. We don't know if he caused it or
They
Again,
got that after he walked away from the scene of the crime.
with Black Widow, it was always, how you get rid of the red in your ledger,
yeah.
and it
They
took her dying. So is that how Hawkeye gets rid of the red in his ledger?
Well, and I'm thinking that they've been sort of foreshadowing that too,
Yeah.
and it's hard to do that to fans. But I do think this would be the end of Hawkeye. You know why? Because other than them telling us that Clint needs to atone for his sin, they've been really beating us over the head with Clint just doesn't have it in him anymore. Dude
Yeah.
has lost most of his hearing.
Yeah.
Every time he's in a fight, he sits in a ice bath or covers himself with frozen vegetables because he just can't do this anymore. He needs
Yeah.
to walk away. He needs to officially put up the bow and arrow. And definitely Kate's there to take over the mantle, but specifically, Hawkeye should be done. They're telling
Yeah.
us a number of ways Hawkeye needs to be done. And even though they should not let Clint survive, I think they will let him survive the end of the series. That way he can go retire officially and go live on a farm with his family. But if they're bold, then they will put their money where their mouth is and not let him get away. He's a criminal.
Yeah.
Like, you can say he's an Avenger, and you're not wrong, but he is absolutely a criminal. We've had this discussion before. We did this with Loki,
Yeah.
I think.
And
It was
Yelena said it too in this episode.
Yeah.
He's a criminal. He's, you call him an Avenger, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
So
They're gonna wind up putting him back over there on what's that thing they call it, the raft.
The raft, yeah. But what's good is he knows, like he's trying to atone for his sins, and he's not like trying to play it off like it never happened. So the fact that he's trying to do all this, not just to clear the suit,
That's a shot, man.
so I think hopefully he doesn't perish, but I mean we never know. Either way, I think even if he does survive and gets his happy ending, I don't think he will still feel 100% forgiven because he's still killed all those people and he's still alive. You know what I mean? So if he's truly gets killed off, only then will he actually feel, quote unquote, feel forgiven and the fact that he was able to, atone for all his sins.
that's what I was saying. I think there's going to be a team up with all of them, because if he
Yeah.
can team up with Yelena and was it Maya and Kate,
yeah,
and he can somehow save them in the episode, then he saved Black Widow's sister.
there you go.
He saved the young girl, and he saved somebody who originally was gunning for him.
Yeah,
So that may kind of give him some peace and allow that retirement.
Man,
But
I hope
also would it be if
I hope
we had?
Marvel's bold.
Can you imagine if we had Yelena and Kate Bishop team up? Now that would be pretty damn cool, man.
It'd be
that'd
awesome.
be awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I think it's going to end, like I said, on a happy note because
Yeah,
it did made a promise to his daughter that he would be there for Christmas.
but even then, that's what makes it darker for him to not be there.
Yeah, but
He's
it's
missed out already on a
Disney-
week's
this
worth
is a
of
Disney series,
Christmas
Jericho.
activities.
This is a Disney series, Jericho. Come on now.
So you're saying he's going to walk in the door Christmas morning, the kids are opening presents, they think, oh, dad's not here. And then, oh, what's that noise? Dad,
He's gonna
coming
pop
down
in
from the
Christmas
rooftop.
morning. Yeah, he's gonna be there Christmas.
It'll
Christmas
be a
Day.
Mufasa situation, man.
Yeah.
They're just going to kill him.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna kill him, man. But
Then we'll
I
see
think he's
Clint in
gonna
the
definitely.
clouds.
This is the end of his arc.
The other thing that we can't forget is that Jeremy Renner's like an OG Avenger,
hmm
and other than Chris Hemsworth, and I guess also Mark Ruffalo, they're the only ones left. No
Yeah.
Stark, no Chris Evans, no Natasha Romanoff. And you can't do this role. You can only do a role like this for so long. Like
Yeah.
you've kind of done everything you can, and as an actor, I'm sure you're just like, I've gone as far as I can with this role, and I'm ready to walk away. So I'm sure Jeremy Renner's probably in that same state. Robert Downey Jr. was at same place
Hmm.
Chris Evans was. He's just like, I'm ready to walk away. I've done everything I can. Like there's nothing left. You kind of want to go out on a high, and you want to just leave it at that. So I think set Hawkeye up for that grand finale, however it may be, and then yeah, walk away.
And also because of the character too. Because if you think about it, I mean, Cap did what he did, returning all the stones and everything. Um, Tony sacrificed himself. Tasha sacrificed herself. Bruce and Thor have their own things going on. Bruce is helping everyone out now, trying to figure out with the 10 rings and all that stuff. Thor is off on his own doing his thing with the Guardians, or whatever he's going on now. So they're, not to say that Clint's not an important character, but at this point, what is he going to do now? Like, how do you keep him going? If they were to continue his story, like, what do you do? Do you have him try to bring down the gangs and crime? So I think this would be a good point for him to just kind of stop and let somebody else take up the mantle and just let him have his ending.
George agrees. Says moving into Avengers Mark II.
Yeah, there you go. Young Avengers, Dark Avengers, somebody. But yeah, they're setting it up.
That would be
Absolutely.
a dope series, though. Actually, Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we've definitely talked a lot of Marvel. Really quickly, we have a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Let me see if I actually have. Eh, I don't have it on here. We are actually we launched a toy drive yesterday, which is going to benefit families in recovery. If you want to donate any items, books, coloring books, unwrapped toys, gotta be new. Um, Take them over to our favorite comic shop, Dragon's Lair, the Alamo Ranch location, which is on the corner of 1604 North and Highway 151. There's a big box there with comic book wrapping paper on it. Just talk to the staff if you can't find it. And we're partnering with the Ghostbusters of San Antonio, and we did a massive live stream with the Ghostbusters that was held by the Ghostbusters of New York City. And they had Ghostbusters teams from all over the country, as well as from other countries that are all also joining in on this massive toy drive initiative, which is started by the official Ghostbusters social media account. So help us out, help out families in need. We're collecting items through December 21st, and have it with me right now. We're also throwing in a goodie. So take a selfie with your donation, send it to the event page for the toy drive. It's on our Facebook page, or you could also find it on the Ghostbusters SATX page, and send the photo of your donation, and that's going to put you in a raffle for a AMC Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto 1 popcorn bucket.
Very cool.
It's sweet. It's very rare. You can't find them in stores, and it also lights up. So hey, double trouble. It's for a great cause, and you have a chance of winning a great item. It's freaking sweet. And so again, now through December 21st, drop off any toy donations to Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy, the Alamo Ranch location. The Ghostbusters of San Antonio are going to be there Friday as well as Tuesday, the 21st, from 6 to 8 p.m., meeting with customers, taking photos with kids, and handing out free posters from Ghostbusters Afterlife. So it's a great cause. And again, they're all going to families that are in recovery, that have been impacted by addiction in some sort of way. So those will be delivered and distributed on Christmas Day to families in need. So it's a great cause. We hope you can help out. There's more information On our Facebook page, there's more information on the Ghostbusters SATX Facebook page. George says, "Great show, guys! Excelsior!" And Miss Stan. And we got a lot of great stuff coming up. Next week, we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home. Hopefully, most of us get to see it, and plan on having our two favorite Spidey debate guys, Rob and Eliud, yell at one another on which Spider-Man did the best, because we're expecting more than one. We'll see what happens, though, right? Wink. And we're going to be continuing our Young Justice talk as well, each and every week. There's so many things going on. Right now on our YouTube page, I've already published one panel from last weekend's film festival featuring Ernie Hudson. Thank you to Celebrity Fan Fest. There's tons of photos. There's tons of videos. My interview with Ernie is also on our YouTube page. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page for more videos from those panels. And right now, the biggest story to come out of that event was the brand new Ghostbusters game, which already has Dan Aykroyd as well as Ernie Hudson involved. And that story is spreading like wildfire. Everybody's excited about it. I just spoke with the GhostbustersNews.com website, and they're running with the story right now, too. So it's fantastic that so many fans right now have so much to be excited for with the Ghostbusters franchise. Cool. We'll also be talking about the finale of Hawkeye pretty soon. Not sure if it'll be next week, but it'll be pretty soon. For the Countdown City Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man behind the magic. You know him as Joe Garcia.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go ahead and like and tell everybody else about Countdown City Geekcast. We greatly appreciate everyone's support. And make sure you go out to the Dragon's Lair that's located off of Alamo Ranch and donate a toy for a good cause.
Absolutely. We also got the greatest, strongest man ever. You know him as Jericho.
Thanks, y'all. Great show. Great to have you, Brett. Welcome. Hopefully, we have a lot more episodes with you. Definitely a lot of fun. I swear we don't get off subject that much in all of our episodes, but it was great having you here, and great to be here too.
And last but definitely not least, making his debut on the show, the one and only Brett.
That was awesome being with you guys, man. Loved it. Had a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing it again, hopefully sometime. And
Sure.
thanks for George. Thanks, George, for tuning in too.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. A lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thanks, George, for all the comments, bro. Talk to you again soon. We'll see you guys next week. No spoilers. No spoilers on our page. Keep them off our page.
Keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth. No spoilers.
Joe will bring his own assless
Don't want
onesie
spoilers.
and attack you.
That's right. Joe will do that.